I am David Blake. I am the co-founder and CEO of Degreed, and it's good to be back here at GSV with you all. So Degreed, our mission is to jailbreak the degree. And we started based on this question. Tell me about your education. And when you ask people that question, they inevitably answer with where they went to university, or what degree they got, or in some cases that they didn't go. And if you think about that, that is truly absurd. If I were to ask you, tell me about your health, and you said you ran a marathon in 1985, that would be an absurd answer to that question, and it is equally as absurd that you would tell me where you went to university 20 years ago. It's not that university is absurd, it's not that running a marathon is absurd, but it's absurd that that is the paradigm in which we are stuck to be able to answer for our education and our skills. And, you know, it used to be okay. It used to be that we existed in a world where we went to one or two institutions of higher education, and then we held 3 or 4 jobs over the course of our career. And between those 5 or 6 institutions, they would teach us a majority of everything we needed to know to be successful. But we have now entered this world where we learn from a diversity of sources over the entirety of our lives, and we need to be able to answer for that education. We are knowledge workers in the knowledge economy, and we need to be able to answer for what we know. And it is now true, as we've seen this sort of Cambrian explosion of education providers and new age pathways and platforms, it is now true that everyone can learn anything they want, anywhere, really at any time. But what does all of that mean? So the fact that we now exist in this learning ecosystem, you know, what does it do? So I love this quote, Jane Hart, "You will never again be able to keep up with the pace of business and everything everyone needs to know." And what is happening is we are shifting from this command and control model of education and learning and development, and we have to shift to one where individuals are empowered and autonomous and able to get the learning that they need when they need it, but to be able to transact on that learning. And as companies try, should they try and hold on too long, you know, what Jane Hart said, they'll just never again be able to keep up with that pace. They have to begin to shift to that autonomous, empowered model of development and learning. But enterprise organizations have struggled to make that shift. If you look at this timeline, on the top is everything that enterprise organizations have traditionally done with their employees. And so you see the coaching and the e-learning and instructor-led training and conferences. And then below the line is really everything that individuals, now empowered as consumers in this ecosystem, are doing to learn. Degreed has been in the market for about 4 years. We've been an enterprise for about 2.5 years. We now have the data across a very large, you know, we've sold over 2 million seats, a very large population. And what I can tell you is that the learning above that red line represents about 2% of what anyone will learn inside a given year. And under the line represents sort of everything else. But organizations have been spending 100% of their budget above the line and 0% of their budget below the line. And they have to bridge these worlds. Randall Stevenson gets it. This quote's now about a year and a half old in New York Times. There is a need to retool yourself, and you should not expect to stop. People who do not spend 5 to 10 hours a week online learning will be obsolete. And that just goes to reflect that where the center of accountability lies in a successful learning organization. It is no longer with the organization to be the thing that is responsible to keep you successful and empowered. It now is on us. We are in this, you know, it's a new world, and we have to always be learning. But so what we found is that individuals and the organizations where individuals work, they need help bridging to this new world of career-long learning. And the components that we've found is that they want the ability to learn from across the ecosystem, learn from every source, to get credit for everything that people learn, that individuals own their learning, that they can take it with them over the entirety of their career, that it's social, that they can learn with and from others, that there are pathways, and pathways that don't just exist across the enterprise organizations library, but pathways that are as diverse as now the infinite number of combinations that exist across this broad ecosystem of learning. And that people can transact and have that learning certified and codified for the market, irrespective of how or where they learn it. So that is what Degreed is built. So Josh Burson, founder of Burson by Deloitte, the learning management system was an uppercase L, or an lowercase l, uppercase m. It was all about management. What the world needs now is that uppercase L, lowercase m. And we're helping the world of enterprise learning shift between that old world to the new world. How do we do that? We help individuals and organizations to capture, curate, and recognize all learning, online, offline, all modalities, all platforms, all providers. We've built an incredible team to help make this reality. We hired the chief learning officer away from LinkedIn. Our head of sales operations came from Workday. Our head of sales came from Lynda. Our head of implementation came from Cornerstone. Our head of operations came from Chegg. We really have pulled away an incredible team to be able to make this happen. And the market is responding. So Degreed is now serving over 100 enterprise organizations. Typically, as you can see, the clients we serve are large Fortune 200, Fortune 500 organizations. And across our enterprise base, in all of these cases, we are serving them enterprise-wide. So in about 95, 96% of all of our clients were installed enterprise-wide. The industry has really recognized that we have to frame the world in terms of an ecosystem, and that it's no longer about creation, it's no longer about directed learning, it's about empowerment, it's about curation, it's about that career-long arc. And people love it. Most importantly of all, people love it. So that was our Net Promoter Score. 77 is our Net Promoter Score, and we love and the learner, that lifelong